Alright, you guys, so the Madrid derby has officially ended. It's Atletico Madrid 5, Real Madrid 2. What a shocking display from Atletico Madrid, and indeed an even shocking display from Real Madrid defensively, and we have to talk about it. But first, if this is your first time coming across my videos, hi guys, I am Just Max, and on this channel I talk about football from the La Liga to the Prem to the UCL. And of course, on this channel is always going to be Vizca Barca for me. But if that's something you're interested in, please stick around, be my friend, be my homie. But let's get into this. That's enough with the introduction, because I was excited to sit down and watch this game. Ahead of this match, I only had one request for Atletico Madrid as a Barcelona fan. I said, if it is possible, can you guys get a point from this match? If it is all possible, can you please get a point? And I could have never predicted, based on Atletico Madrid season, the game that we were strapped in for. Because let me tell you, it was shocking. Real Madrid were shocking. Atletico Madrid were shocking. And both of them were shocking for different reasons. But let's first get into the lineups that both managers, Diego Simeone and of course Xabi Alonso, put out. And then we can talk about what we saw from this game. For Real Madrid, it was Thibaut Courtois in goal, Alvaro Carreras in the left back position, Dean Howson and Eder Militao in center back position, and Dani Carvajal coming back to that right back position. Aurelien Tchouameni and Fede Valverde kind of held it in the kind of pivot position for Real Madrid, and leading Real Madrid's lineup, attacking side of things, it was Vinicius Jr., Jude Bellingham, who is coming in after that prolonged injury, Arda Güler and Kylian Mbappe. From Atletico Madrid though, it was given Jan Oblak in goal, Marcos Llorente in left back, Lenormand in centre back, Clement Lenglet in centre back, and Hako in right back position. Giuliano Simeone, Pablo Barrios, Koke, and Nico Gonzalez in that midfield, and it was led by Alexander Sørloth and Julian Alvarez. And honestly, let's dive into what we saw from today, because immediately this game started, I was shocked by Real Madrid's defending. Now listen, if you watch my short content videos, and which I encourage you to, I do post out a lot of things in my short form content, I said that I would love to see this Real Madrid's new look defense tested against better opposition. And within the first 2 minutes, I thought it was shocking, because Alexander Sørloth had the opportunity to go in front of Real Madrid and test Thibaut Courtois one-on-one. It did take a wonderful recovery tackle by, I want to say, Eder Militao to prevent that from being an outright goal. But it just gave us a sign of things to come. That first 20 minutes for Atletico Madrid in the first half, it really could have been 4-0. Because every time that Atletico Madrid attacked Real Madrid, it was giving attack with purpose. For the longest time, Atletico Madrid, they just kept Real Madrid on the back foot. And on my TikTok, which is @JustMax on TikTok as well, I like to write about what I'm feeling in the game. And I remember I kept on writing, this is ridiculous. Atletico Madrid are outplaying Real Madrid out the box. This is something that I could have never envisioned. Again, because if you consider the way Atletico Madrid has started the season, like they've had like a very, very difficult result up until this point. I did not expect them to win this game. I'm going to be honest and say that I asked for a draw. So when I saw them come out with so much intensity, so much power, they played Real Madrid out of the park in midfield. They bullied that Real Madrid defense, and every ball into the Real Madrid box looked like an attacking threat for Atletico Madrid. I was very, very shocked. From a Real Madrid perspective though, I was shocked by how bad they were defensively, how bad they were attacking, how defensive, how sleepy they were. It's as if they came into the match with the same mindset as they have played all, the other La Liga games. And to be fair, they've just kind of coasted along in other La Liga games prior to now, and they haven't had to put in as much energy, in my opinion, as they needed to put in today. So like, I felt like they just didn't understand the gravitas of the situation, which to me also, it was kind of mind-boggling, because how can you not? Because the Atletico Madrid environment, it was crazy, it was loud, it was giving all that it needs to the game, and these are quality players from Real Madrid. So that first 20 minutes from Real Madrid's perspective, I was very shocked by how sleepy they were. And Alvaro Carreras did not have a good game for Real Madrid. I'm just going to put it out there. He did not. He did not have a good game for Real Madrid. He was so nervous because, again, like I said, every time that Atletico Madrid pushed up on Real Madrid, it was giving an attacking threat. And I have never seen a footballer forget how to play football. Because at times I was like, if you don't know what to do, just whack it anyway. Just whack it and see what happens. Just see what happens. But like, he just kept on being nervous. He made some very, very poor mistakes that could have led to goals in that first half. He was lucky to not, be the direct cause of any kind of goal. But I've never seen a footballer in that moment just forget how to play football. Like, that's just to show you like the level of intensity and the situation that Atletico Madrid were putting Real Madrid under, and it was like crazy for me. Of course, in the first 14 minutes, Lenormand did end up getting on the scoreboard for Atletico Madrid, and again it was through that whole crossing gimmick. I'm very, very surprised that Real Madrid players cannot jump. I'm shocked. Like, honestly, I keep saying it's shocked because it was shocking. Like, what do you mean that Real Madrid have tall defenders and they cannot jump? They cannot attack any aerial ball. Every aerial ball that Atletico Madrid put in today was a problem. Real Madrid were not winning any contested headers. It was just ridiculous. It was ridiculous to see, and I was shocked. And of course, the first goal for Atletico Madrid comes to a cross, a very good cross from Giuliano Simeone. He puts it into the box, and Ruben Lenormand, he is the first to attack the ball, and I live for it. I do. But of course, you cannot keep Real Madrid down for too long. Kylian Mbappe did end up responding for Real Madrid. I think at this point it was their first shot on target, their first shot at goal even. So it was given one touch, one goal for Kylian Mbappe, and it was through that again combination between Arda Güler and Kylian Mbappe, and it just kind of have been proving profitable for Real Madrid this season. And again, it was a really, really good, well taken goal. And at this point, I felt like Atletico Madrid were a little bit shocked and rattled a little bit because they felt like they could have had, like I said, 4 goals at this point, but they did not take those early chances that came their way. So for a minute there, I thought that Real Madrid were going to be able to steady the ship and ride it out. And when Arda Güler did score that goal through Lenormand's mistake, he heads the ball back in a very kind of bad way, and then Vinicius Junior is able to pick up the ball, run at the Atletico Madrid defenders, and putting the cross into the box. It was so fantastically well done. Arda Güler is just left on mark in the middle of the box and just positions himself very well to slot the ball well past Jan Oblak. Sensational stuff. But one of the things that I love about Atletico Madrid, and I have to say, they might be allergic to going ahead, but they really like to be the underdog in any given situation. I feel like they like to come from behind. And once they went down back to Real Madrid, they remembered who they were. They remembered how they started the game, how they've been playing. They picked it right back up. They went at Real Madrid, and immediately, I think not too long after that, Julian Alvarez, whom I think at this point we should have known he was going to be a protagonist in this match, he hit the woodwork for Atletico Madrid with an outside strike, and I was like, sensational. I lived for it. But then also we did have a goal in the back of the net. Again, an aerial ball that Real Madrid could not handle, could not deal with. But unfortunately for Atletico Madrid, it was a handball by Clement Lenglet. So of course that's not going to count. But it just, if you were from an Atletico Madrid disposition, which I was, being that I'm a Barca fan, I was rooting for Atletico Madrid in this match. So from an Atletico Madrid disposition, I just love to see that kind of energy, because what that told me was that they were certainly looking to respond quickly. And of course they did just that, because before the end of the first half, Alexander Soler pulls them level, and again it's that aerial ball in the box, very good cross. Atletico Madrid finds a very good header. Like, Real Madrid, they just, oh my days. I think moving forward, the only thing that Real Madrid should be doing defensively is discussing how to attack headers, how to deal with area balls, how to deal with crosses, how to deal with corner kicks, because so far they have no idea how any of that is done, and that has been the nail in the coffin for them in this match. The second half, though, it was a totally different story. I felt like Real Madrid did not do anything. They did not do anything to trouble Atletico Madrid. Let's be so for real. And honestly, no PK, no party. No, that's it. No PK, no party. No PK, no party. Because this is the first few games this season that Real Madrid have not had a penalty. And I felt like it was so ironic because at the start of the second half, Kylian Mbappe threw himself to the floor in the Atletico Madrid's box and was trying to get a penalty, of which the referee waved up. Very well done in that instance. And then not too long after that, like on the 51st minute, Arda Güler raises his foot so high, and then there's a little bit of a debate to be had about that, in that, okay, fine, he did raise his leg so high, but he did clear the ball, and of course the follow through is what hit the defender on the head. But at the same time, raising your leg that high in the box is an illegal move. So of course Real Madrid conceded a penalty. So for me, the irony was just a few moments ago, Kylian Mbappe was trying to get a penalty on the other side, and now Real Madrid considered a penalty. And guess who steps up? The man, the myth, the ongoing legend, Julian Alvarez, and he slots a wonderfully well-worked penalty beyond Thibaut Courtois. And listen, there was no double touch this time around. No double touch. It was good, and I knew he needed that because the last time Atletico Madrid faced up against Real Madrid in the Champions League, it was that double touch situation that sent Real Madrid into the quarterfinals or what, or the semifinals, the quarterfinals I think it was. So I'm so glad that today he was able to steady himself, do what needed to be done despite the penalty. Chef's kiss. And not long after that, he was still end up getting a double. And again, it was all about Atletico Madrid just putting Real Madrid on the back foot. They just outplayed them. They outplayed them at every given instance. There was no instance where Real Madrid was better. They just wasn't. Like, it was so shocking. I know I keep saying shocking because it was so shocking for me to see Real Madrid this way. And then what all of that tells me is there's still a lot of work for Xabi Alonso to do, because again, what happens for the fourth goal for Atletico Madrid, it all comes down from turning defense into attack. Julian Alvarez picks up the ball. He blows by Raul Asensio, who at this point has come into the game. And I remember telling some Madrid fans yesterday in their live on TikTok, and I said, don't have Raul Asensio in this game. He might either commit a red card or give out a goal. And at this point, I was like, no. I was like, oh, okay, cool. But of course, Raul Asensio is guarding Julian Alvarez. Julian Alvarez beats him for pace and is heading right into the box. Raul Asensio does the good thing, the smart thing, which is to take him down before he enters the box, because at the pace Julian Alvarez was going, he was definitely going to be scoring that thing. Listen, it was just that serious. Like, so he does the smart thing, gives away a free kick, except Julian Alvarez is riding high on confidence because he just had a hat-trick in the midweek. Like, he had a hat-trick against Rayo. He just had scored a penalty. And so he's having, oh my goodness, he's riding high on confidence. And when I tell you, my man steps up and he takes a free kick, the free kick of free kicks, oh goodness. That free kick was sensational. It was beautiful. And it beat Thibaut Courtois at the near post too. I lived for it. I was like, 5 goals in 2 match days, 5 goals in 1 week. Juan Laporta, please go and bring home Julian Alvarez. Please, please, please do whatever you can to get Julian Alvarez to the Camp Nou this summer, please and thank you. And after that, of course, I was surprised. I thought that Atletico Madrid would want to go for more. I thought that they would want to push for more. Diego Simeone did make some defensive changes, so he was trying to manage the game to see it out, which allowed Real Madrid to be able to push up further. He took off Solot, brought up Conor Gallagher, which was a defensive-minded substitution. I felt like it was a little bit too early because that was in the 65th minute, give or take. I thought he could have waited to maybe the 75th or the 80th minute before he made that substitution, because what happened thereafter was that it gave Real Madrid the confidence, the impetus to push forward, to push ahead, and to try and press Atletico Madrid. And from then onwards, Atletico Madrid entered into their classic Harambol situation. But it didn't make any difference because I don't think in the second half that Real Madrid created any kind of attacking chance at all. There was just nothing. They weren't giving anything. They huffed and puffed and huffed and puffed, but at the end of the day, it just wasn't giving anything. And honestly, I really lived for this game, because what this tells me is, yeah, Real Madrid are in shit. That the start of the season, they've been fortunate to start the seasons against teams that they are clearly better than. You know, they played Levante, they played Oviedo, they played who? You know, they played people that they're clearly better than, that they clearly should beat. But like against better oppositions, like the way they were cut apart, the way they were sidestepped today in midfield, in defense, in attack, every angle of the pitch, Atletico Madrid was superior. They were just kind of superior, and I think this is kind of that kind of game that like just brings you back down to earth. Everybody's humbled. Antoine Griezmann did end up coming, scores a 5th goal for Atletico Madrid. Again, that one was a defensive mistake by Federico Valverde, which is kind of unfortunate because he has been one of Real Madrid's consistent performers, but today not to be. Yeah, and I'm excited. I'm happy about it. I cannot even hide it. I'm excited. I'm so happy about it, because what that means is Real Madrid have finally lost their first game of the season. They officially dropped points in La Liga, and Barcelona have a golden opportunity to, you know, take advantage of the situation to go back top of the La Liga table tomorrow when they play Real Sociedad. But beyond that, it just also showed us some of the kinks or the chinks in Real Madrid's armor, the places that you could actually press and take advantage of them. The midfield is still not giving what needs to be given, even though Ada Gullier was good. I don't know what Jude Bellingham did today. I barely even saw him in the game. The attack, Kylian Mbappe is always great, but what happens if you're always defending? Or what happens if you're against a better opposition and you need to outscore your opposition, but your defense is also leaking? Do you understand my point? Like, the defense wasn't good at all. This defense, I do know that Real Madrid have hired a new set-piece coach and all of that stuff, so maybe that might help in the future things. But for the right now, this match, it just gives a little bit of an expose to a lot of teams on what to do if they want to beat Real Madrid. But this has been my thought from this game. Let me know what you thought about this game in the comment section, and as always, it's Vishka Barca for me. So excited. I'm going to run away in the sunset now. Thank you. Bye, guys.